Alright, so this brother SSJ Kaba tagged me in his video in which he was responding to a silly comment by a Christian. Now, looking at the comment, we can see how bad it is. Too many false assumptions from the get-go. First, we have no reason to believe that Allah told a prophet named Daniel that the Messiah would die. That is your Christian assumption, and we'll get to that in a minute. The other assumption is that in the book of Daniel, there is a prophecy that the Messiah would be killed. This is a common Christian claim which has no foundation in facts. Anyway, let's see what the brother had to say.
All right, so questions for the Christians, because you guys claim to be the continuation of Judaism. And this question is a sincere question. I'm not debating, I'm not arguing. And please, if you answer me, cite some scholarly works or something like that, something to prove your point. Did any Jew believe that the Messiah was going to be crucified or killed, or at least killed for our sins?
So, the brother asked a very good question. I'm assuming from experience that the Christian commenter was referring to Daniel 9:26, which talks about a Messiah being cut off. The first thing to note is that the original text does not say the Messiah will be killed. This is why the New English translation says an anointed one will be cut off. This is confirmed by the Zondervan Illustrated Bible Backgrounds commentary, which notes that the Hebrew text has the indefinite noun an, so it should read an anointed one, not the anointed one. Note also that the New English translation has a footnote which refutes the King James Version fabrication that the anointed one will die, but not for himself. This is a deliberate fabrication by the Christians to make it sound like the verse is talking about vicarious atonement. All it says is that the anointed one will be cut off and will have nothing. This can mean that this person will have no support. Now, since the verse says an anointed one will be cut off, this makes it highly unlikely that it is talking about the long-awaited Messiah. Remember, in the Bible, many people are called Messiah, anointed. Even the Zoroastrian king Cyrus the Great of Persia is called God's anointed in Isaiah 45:1. The same Hebrew word is used in Daniel 9:26. So just because it says a Messiah will be cut off, it does not follow that it must be the Messiah from the house of David who will establish God's kingdom. So if it wasn't the Messiah who was to be cut off, then who was it? Well, there's a strong consensus among scholars that the verse is referring to the 2nd century BCE priest Onias III. Onias was killed in the year 171 BCE by the Greek tyrant Antiochus IV. And yes, a priest can also be called a Messiah, or anointed, in the Bible. For example, Leviticus 4, verse 3. There are good reasons that Onias is the person referred to in Daniel 9:26, which I discuss in my book that I published last year on Amazon. Check it out if you're interested. It is too complicated to discuss in a 2-minute video. See the link below. Coming to the question of whether there were any Jews who believed that the Messiah would die for their sins, according to Daniel Boyarin in his book, The Jewish Gospels, the answer to that question is yes, this was a Jewish concept, and he cites Isaiah 53 as one such example. However, other scholars such as Peter Schaeffer have criticized Boyarin's book, so it's an open-ended question.